Hello everyone, welcome to this week's Gran Turismo 7 Daily Race, Race and Strategy. We're off to everybody's favourite location in the game, Autodromo Lago Maggiore, in the Group 4 machinery, and it's the very short version of the track called Centre. We've got 20 laps to get round of this track. It's a pretty short lap after all. Tyre wear at times 1, fuel at times 1, just the racing hard tyres are available. There is one mandatory pit stop in this one. We've got the rare outing of the low speed BOP, damage is light, it's a rolling start, slipstream is real. And for your settings you've got the brake balance, you've got the anti-roll bars, and you've got the compression and expansion. Pretty sure this is a new combination for Daily Race. I don't ever remember actually doing it in even GT Sport, maybe as an FIA race. I don't remember doing it in GT Sport and definitely not in GT7, so it's fresh in that regard. So moving on to the race action now. Disclaimer, we have an absolute nightmare in this race, one of the worst races I have ran in a long time. And then to compound matters, I actually forgot to save the original footage, so this is the replay footage. So come down into turn 1, just note very quickly, rolling start, everybody does start on the main straight, so that's very nice indeed. Taking our time coming into turn 1, and then we are going to have a little bit of an incident here with the Spanish driver. Now I believed I'd been punted from behind or something along those lines, so I was going to wait up on that driver, but I was planning on pitting at the end of this lap, so I didn't really think there was any point, waiting for 2 seconds to let that driver back through when I was intending pitting at the end of the lap anyway. So coming up to the last corner, as I said, very short track, literally 4 corners in this one. We're in the Jaguar F-Type, just so you are aware. We're going to come in and make our pit stop at the end of lap 1. Mandatory pit stop now, the tyre wear is only at times 1, you're on the hard tyres. You are not going to change the tyres in this one. I haven't even tested the difference between changing the tyres and not changing the tyres, because if you change the tyres, you're literally just giving away 1.5 to 2 seconds. Do not change the tyres in this one. There is no benefit whatsoever to it. Your tyres are going to be like 10% worn by the end of the race, which means they're going to still just be performing absolutely perfectly. So as we leave the pits here, you don't have to worry about the white line. Just be careful on the entry. You can get a 3-second penalty for that. Your pit loss is going to come in at around about 17 seconds. Fuel is going to be no issue whatsoever. And we have got a Saudi Arabian and a Ferrari behind us who's also pitted at the end of lap 1. Now I'm going to forget one of the big pieces of advice I always give to drivers here. I know this driver, when I seen the name, is a lot faster than me, but for whatever reason I decided to defend this into the last corner. They're going to try and go round the outside. There's a tiny little bit of contact and we maintain that position, but they're going to get a run on us down into turn 1 as well. And again, this is just silly because we're both trying to gain time at this point, so fighting at this point in the race is of no benefit to anyone whatsoever. We're trying to defend this one, we look behind us at the wrong time and we completely miss our braking point and go off the track. So yeah, breaking one of my own rules. I always say there's no point fighting somebody who's a lot faster than you, because they're just going to get past you in the end, especially at the beginning of the race. Up to that point hadn't quite been a disaster, but yeah, the disaster was fully compounded come lap 5, where we got up on that curb. I think we just got the car unsettled on the sausage curb on the kind of downhill, slightly off camber corner, upset the balance of the car. We caught the initial little accident and then it kind of went again, and that was us giving 10 seconds away. And that was pretty much our chance of a decent result over. You can't give away 10 seconds on a short track like this. You just can't gain the time back. It's going to be a very close race, this one. The difference between the fastest and the slowest driver is only going to be around about 1 second, so you can't give away 10 seconds and expect to get a good result. But we do get a little bit of a fight here with Marcus in the black Ferrari, going down the inside here into the last corner, getting that move completed. Be careful of that sausage curb on the inside of the hairpin as well, can very easily upset the balance of your car. Come down into turn 1 here, I kind of didn't really think Marcus was going to go for this, which is why we never went defensive, but they are going to poke their nose in. I didn't really think this move was on, but I did have to give them space. There was a slight bit of contact as well, and Marcus goes through. We make another little bit of contact there. I wasn't happy, particularly with that move, but probably just not happy overall with how the race has went. So given that I felt that Marcus kind of went for a move that I didn't really feel that was on, we are going to send it into the hairpin here. Now we do have a good bit of slipstream. We're really not close enough to go for the move here, but this is kind of what happens when you start kind of letting little things affect your race. Now we do get it stopped on the apex quite nicely. Marcus kind of turns into us, you know, the old sim racing excuse they turned into us. Who's not used it? But we do get that move completed there to move up into P13, and we do catch up with Captain James T. Kirk here in the Alfa Romeo, but not quite get close enough, and it's going to be a P13 to finish. Now the finishing time for the winner was around about 16 minutes 20, so definitely scope for a couple of additional laps in this one. When we tested it in our live stream, we did 23 laps, and that was still under the 20-minute mark, so the race is just a little bit short for my liking. It was definitely potential for another couple of laps there to take it up to the 20-minute mark. But we'll move on to the strategy options here. Well, there isn't really any, well, there is kind of options, I guess, but there is only really one strategy. It is the one stop with the no tyre change. Make sure you do not change your tyres during the mandatory pit stop, as tyre wear is negligible. You can make your pit stop on any lap between laps 2 and 19, so the aim is to try and find some clear track in a race that's going to be very close and potentially chaotic. There's going to be, it's Group 4, so it just tends to bring the player base closer together. The nature of the track as well, there's only 4 corners, so people are again just going to be naturally brought closer together because of that. So trying to find a clear track is going to be easier said than done. It's quite difficult to overtake as well because you don't have like a massive straight or a really long run, but you can do it down into the hairpin. You can do it down into turn 1 as well, which is a little bit more tricky, but it's not a terrible race by any means. It definitely could have been better. Maybe some fuel management in there might have been necessary to make it a little bit better, so you could just either burn the fuel or save the fuel, try and make your pit stop a little bit shorter. But yeah, it's not terrible, but it could have definitely been a whole lot better as well. Moving on to the lap guide here. Now, I sort of use the end of the catch fence there, or the photographer in the blue, as my reference. Now, you don't want to go quite as deep as the photographer, or you will miss the apex, but the end of the catch fence is a pretty good reference for turn 1. Then you're just trying to take a nice narrow line, use the yellow on the inside if you want to, get a good exit here, and just coming off the throttle, and then trying to avoid that sausage curb on the inside as you've seen, and get on the throttle as early as you possibly can. It will, very tricky corner, you're going to definitely see people running wide there as well. Obviously full throttle here through the S's, and then coming up to the hairpin, last corner on the track, it is the 100 metre board. Now if you're in the slipstream, maybe just before the 100, if you're not in the slipstream you can brake just after it. Kind of try to get a late apex on this corner, I would suggest. Kind of get more momentum on the exit, on the throttle nice and early, and just be careful of the sausage curb on the inside, as that definitely will unbalance the car and it's very easy to spin on. But yeah, fairly simple race. I don't think it's a terrible race. I think the settings could have been better. We tested a number of cars in the live stream and they all seemed pretty close, but we did note that the Ferrari was very strong indeed. So cars with good acceleration are going to be good here, so you need that acceleration out of that hairpin and out of, well, not so much turn 1, but yeah, it looks like the Ferrari and the Alfa Romeo 155 are looking very strong in this one. There are possibly some other cars that will come to the fore as well. I suspect the Subaru is going to be good. I do believe the Mitsubishi Lancer is up there on the leaderboards as well. But we're definitely live stream this one a couple of times over the course of the week. Do join me for them if you can. Hopefully the video has been entertaining, useful in some way, shape and form. Please hit the like button. Please hit the subscribe button. Thanks for watching. Bye bye now.